The Associated Press has reported Russia's ban on U.S. adoptions 4 years ago is still having disastrous results for orphans in Russia. The ban served as retaliation for a U.S. law targeting alleged Russian human rights violators. More than 200 U.S. families were in the process of adopting a child in Russia. Many of those children have been placed in Russian homes, but the fate of others is unknown. That is the case for our next guest. Joining us now is Courtney Clarke via Skype from Birmingham, Alabama. She and her husband traveled to Russia to adopt a 2-year-old boy in 2012. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
It's been almost 5 years since you first saw the boy you were calling your son when you were in Russia. He was 2 years old at the time at an orphanage. And here you are in a picture holding him. How upset are you?
It's just been devastating for us. This is a little boy that we love dearly. He was the first child to ever call me mom. We have wanted him in our home. We want to care for him and provide for him, and we just haven't been able to.
Have you had any contact with him? Do you know where he is?
No, we really don't. Not since we left the orphanage in December 2012. We have not been able to talk to him
and
or find out.
You sent an intent to adopt. You signed an intent to adopt.
Yes.
And what happened with that? Did you ever hear from the government again?
We really haven't. When Russia closed adoptions in January of 2013, they cut off all the families who had not been through court. And so we were one of those families. There's about 250 other families in our situation who had met their children, promised them that we were coming back, signed all the paperwork Russia had asked of us, but have not.
Just heartbreaking. Well, here's a picture of you and your family. You haven't given up on adoption. You've adopted 2 children from the U.S. You have 2 biological children. Are you going to give up on Josiah?
No, we're not. We're going to do everything we can. And we feel like we're his parent, and it's our job just to keep fighting for him.
This summer, Congress has passed sanctions against Russia, the probe against the Trump administration for trying to influence the U.S. presidential election continues, but it does not seem like the media is covering this Russian story. Why do you think the U.S. isn't doing more to pressure Putin on behalf of these children?
I think for us and for the families like us, this is just a forgotten story. We feel like there's been so much back and forth with the political nature of everything that's happened, and we just want people to remember that these are real children and real families that are involved. They're parents who desperately want their children.
Parents who desperately want their children. Thank you so much, Courtney Clarke, waiting for an adoption for her son, Josiah, from Russia.
Thank you.